existence and eventually the prosperity of Israel was probably the most important thing to my parents' generation and to my generation. In '73, we felt it was at risk, and we didn't know what was going to happen. I was a young lawyer. I got called to the bar in 1972. I was making $12,000 a year, my first year as a lawyer. So I was sitting there around 6:30 that evening, and Lloyd Fogler, who's the senior partner in the firm, walking by my little cubicle. "Get your jacket, let's go, you're coming with me." I said, "Where are we going?" "We're going to Mr. Justice Robbins' house. It's a Yom Kippur where we're having an emergency meeting of the lawyers division of a UJA. They had somebody there from the UJA to talk about what was going on in Israel. And then they said, look, they need everything. You know, Israel is at the risk of losing this war. And that can't be allowed to happen. In those days, they didn't, here's a card, fill it in. People stood up and said, this is my gift. People were giving $10,000, $20,000. And the whole time we're sitting there, he's hitting me with an elbow. "Eddie, show the way for the young people." I finally jumped up and I said, "I give $1,000. I had to go home and tell my wife I'd just given away almost 10% of my pre-tax salary. Yeah, I was sick about it, but I felt really good about it. And that was my first gift to UJA. And happily, over the years, I've been able to increase it fairly regularly.
It's an annual campaign that turned to an emergency campaign. I still believe, by the way, it was the most successful campaign. Everybody rose to the occasion, all the volunteers, all the professionals, and we were there for Israel. Several families came up with a strategy. With that came the event that we had at the Ford Center, and that was probably the most moving night in my life of being a part of the Jewish community in Toronto. That evening we raised over $11 million. It brought me to tears. It made us feel that we were doing something that was absolutely important to Israel, to the Jewish community, and to the Toronto community.
We picked a date between the three of us. That's how these things happen. That's the way I run my business. If there's a problem, let's fix it now, not tomorrow. Where are we going to have it? I says, have it in my basement. I'll have 100 people, 125 people. People were sitting on the stairs and on the billiard table, and Freddie spoke, I spoke, and it so happened that my granddaughter just came back, I think that day, from Israel and started talking about what was going on there.
We raised, in his basement, in the afternoon, $5 million.
It was phenomenal.
When it comes to emergencies, when it comes to being able to mobilize the entire community, left, right, middle, young, old, I don't think there's any organization that can take the place of the UJA in doing that.